Hey everybody, I'm here today with a driving lesson that will be based on steering a car. In this video, I'll be showing you how to steer a car safely and properly, and I'll be going over the various situations in which you will likely be steering a vehicle. With that being said, let's get right into this video tutorial. As you can see right here, this is the steering wheel, and this is what you will be using to steer the car. Now, I like to place my hands towards the top over here, which is about the 10 and 2 position. If you were to imagine this as a clock, you have 12 o'clock right here at the top center, then towards the right you have about 2 o'clock, towards the left you have about 10 o'clock, and that's where I like to place my hand. But other people like to place them a little bit further down, a little bit higher up, or even down here. What I would say is figure out what works for you in terms of a level of safety that you desire, and also a level of comfort that you want, and also what's commonly accepted where you live. You don't want to be placing your hands somewhere on the driving test and then you lose points because they're in the wrong place. So figure out where you live, what is commonly accepted, and work with that as a guideline. But I like to place my hands somewhere towards the top over here at about the 10 and 2 position. Now we're actually going to start driving, and we are going to move ahead, and we're actually going to start steering the car. So right now I'm pulled over towards the right side, right beside the curb, and I want to steer away from the curb. So I'm going to put my signal on, I'm going to check my mirrors, check my blind spot, and we're going to move away from the curb. So to do that, I'm going to steer slightly away from the curb, just like that, a little bit of an angle, and then we're going to straighten the wheel out. Now, when you are making a turn, you're going to have to turn the wheel towards the direction that you want to go. If you're turning right, you're going to turn the wheel towards the right. If you are turning left, you're going to steer the wheel towards the left. So we're going to make a right turn over here. It's just a curve in the road. It's not an intersection. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to turn the wheel towards the right, hold it here throughout the turn, and then release it now that I'm on the next part of the road. Very simple. Now up ahead, I'm going to make a turn. We'll try and turn. There's no intersection yet. We're going to turn right or left. I haven't decided yet. We'll see what the intersection holds up ahead. But we're going to turn right or left, and I'll show you how to make a turn while you're actually in motion. So right here, we're going to make a right-hand turn, and I'm going to make this right-hand turn while I'm moving. There's no stop sign. My signal goes on. I'm checking my mirrors. I'm checking my blind spot. Now watch what I do with my hands. I'm turning the wheel, holding it, and then releasing it, just like that. That's how you steer for a turn. Now, with regards to your hand positioning and your hand movement, some people like to use hand over hand. That's what I commonly use. Other people like to use the push-pull steering method. It's kind of the same thing as where you're holding the wheel. You want to look at what's commonly accepted where you live, and you want to look at what also makes you the most comfortable with regards to driving and what is the safest for the driving situation. Now, I use hand over hand most of the time, but then sometimes I use push-pull steering depending on the situation, and at other times I will even use one-handed steering just like this, right? So it all depends on what you want to use. But generally speaking, hand over hand steering, push-pull steering, and one-handed steering are basically the 3 most common steering methods that you will likely be using. Now I'm going to show you how to steer for either a sharp turn or even when you're doing something like a 3-point turn. I'm going to make this a sharp turn. Doing my safety checks, we're going to make it a sharp turn. So check out how much I'm turning the wheel. As you saw right there, I turned the wheel much more. So the point of me showing you this is to tell you that some turns are going to require you to only turn the wheel like a quarter of a turn, and other turns are going to require you to turn the wheel 3/4 of a turn, like this one right here. As you can see, 3/4 of a turn is what allowed me to make that sharp turn. Now that wasn't really a sharp turn with regards to the actual intersection, but I made it a sharp turn for the demonstration in this video. So when you're steering a car, if you want to steer away from the curb or steer towards the curb, to pull away from the curb or pull over, you're just going to have to do a slight movement to the left or to the right. Okay, very, very simple. When you're making a turn, like turning right or turning left, you're going to have to turn the wheel a little bit more. It might be a quarter of a turn. If it's not so sharp of a turn, it might be half a turn or even 3/4 of a turn, right? Depending on the turn. Now, when you're doing something like you're turning the car around, like you're doing a U-turn or a 3-point turn, then you're going to want to steer the steering wheel all the way to the left or all the way to the right. So you're going to realize, and I'm just going to do this at a standstill right now, that I can turn the wheel all the way to the left until it locks. It will not turn anymore, and all the way to the right, once again, until it does not turn anymore. I'm sort of hitting like an imaginary wall with regards to the steering, okay? Now, what we're going to do is we're going to make a 3-point turn right here. So I'm going to start off, and I'm going to do all of my signaling and my mirror checks and my blind spot checks, but I'm not going to outline those because this is about steering. It's not about making a 3-point turn, right? So I'm going to do those, but I'm only going to be talking about the steering. Let's put my signal on, check my mirrors, check my blind spots, look in front of the car, look behind the car. We're good to go. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn the steering wheel all the way to the left till I can't turn it anymore. I'm going to release the brake pedal, start slowly accelerating, and I'm going to come to a complete stop. Now I'm going to go ahead and go in reverse with my right signal on, checking all around the car, and I'm steering all the way to the right, all the way to the right, moving backwards, and coming to complete stop. We're going to go ahead and go all the way to the left now to complete the 3-point turn, just like that. Very, very simple. So as you saw right there, when you do something like a 3-point turn or a U-turn, you're going to want to steer all the way to the right or all the way to the left, okay? Now, what I'll do before I finish this video is I'm going to show you a few of the different steering hand methods that you might want to use. So let's start with hand over hand as I make this turn right over here. Hand over hand is basically when you literally put one hand over the other, just like that. Very simple. Hand over hand. One hand goes over the other. I'll do 2 demonstrations for each steering method with regards to what you're doing with your hands. So I'm going to go hand over hand once again. I'll make a right hand turn and we'll do hand over hand steering just like this. Coming to complete stop, we're going to do hand over hand. As you can see, one hand goes over the other and then the other hand comes back under. Now what I'll do is I'll do push-pull steering for this right hand turn. So push-pull is very simple. One hand's doing the pushing, one hand's doing the pulling, and you're alternating. Push, pull, push, pull. I'll do one more demonstration right over here. Push, pull, just like that. Very simple. And I've done many videos on each of these steering methods. That's why I'm just briefly going over them. You can search my channel for those videos if you want a more in-depth explanation and demonstration of them. Now we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna do one-handed steering, in which I'm gonna basically be pushing my palm against the steering wheel to turn the wheel and then rotating it. So once again, one-handed steering just like this. We'll actually turn this way because there's another turn over there. Pushing the palm against the wheel, rotating my hand, just like that. Very simple. We'll do one more demonstration right over here. Palm gets pressed up against the wheel, turning, and that's basically it. This has been a very simple and straightforward driving lesson on steering a car. I've gone over the basics of steering a car, and I really hope that you've enjoyed this video driving lesson. If you liked the video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. Let me know what you think down below as a comment. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more great car and driving videos just like this one. And that's all I have for you today. Thanks for watching.